Imagine it is the year 2526. 500 years have passed. Cities do not look like cities anymore. Hospitals do not look like hospitals anymore. And death is no longer treated like a tragedy. It is treated like a technical problem. Your best friend is lying in a white room, connected to a machine that is reading every signal in their brain. Their memories, their habits, their fears, the way they laugh, the exact pattern that makes them. Across the room, a new body is waiting. Half biological, half machine. A synthetic body that does not age the way ours do. The doctors tell you not to be afraid. They say the transfer is almost complete. Your friend looks at you one last time with their original eyes. Then, their old body dies. A few seconds later, the new body opens its eyes. It knows your name. It remembers the first time you met. It remembers private jokes nobody else could know. It cries when it sees you, and it says, "I made it." But did they? Or are you standing in front of something much stranger? A perfect copy that believes your friend survived. This is the problem with mind uploading. From the outside, it looks like immortality, but from the inside, it might be death wearing your face. The dream is simple. One day, technology becomes powerful enough to scan the brain in unbelievable detail. Every neuron, every connection, every tiny pattern of activity. And we are not close to this yet. Today, scientists can map tiny nervous systems in astonishing detail, but even the complete wiring diagram of a fruit fly contains around 140,000 neurons and tens of millions of synapses. A human brain has roughly 86 billion neurons, and the wiring alone may still not be enough. You would also need chemistry, timing, electrical activity, hormones, body feedback, the way the brain is constantly shaped by the living body around it. A connectome is a map. It is not automatically a mind. But imagine that one day all of that becomes possible. The brain is scanned. The pattern is rebuilt somewhere else. Maybe inside a computer, maybe inside a robot, maybe inside a synthetic body that can walk, speak, feel, and remember. If the copy thinks like you, talks like you, and remembers being you, most people would say the transfer worked. But the question is not whether other people can be fooled. The question is whether you wake up, because those are not the same thing. Modern neuroscience already treats much of the mind as something deeply tied to the brain. Damage one part of the brain, and memory can vanish. Damage another, and personality can change. Change the chemistry, and mood changes. Change the wiring, and the person seems to change with it. So it is tempting to say you are just information, a pattern, a biological program running on wet tissue, and if you are a pattern, then maybe copying the pattern is enough. But this is where the nightmare begins, because copying something does not usually move the original. And this is where the question stops being only scientific, because science can talk about the brain. It can talk about neurons, electricity, memory, personality, information. But for billions of people, the thing that makes you you is not just information. It is the soul. And if the soul is real, then mind uploading has a problem no machine can solve. Because a machine might copy your memories. It might copy your voice, your habits, your fears, the way your face moves when you recognize someone you love. But can it copy the soul? Most religious traditions would say no, not because the machine is not advanced enough, but because the soul is not the kind of thing a machine can measure. In Islam, the ruh is described as something from the command of God, and humans are told they have been given only a little knowledge of it. That changes the entire question, because if the soul is not physical information, then no scanner can capture it. A machine could copy your memories and still miss the one thing that mattered most. The doctors might say, "We copied everything." But religion asks a darker question. Everything physical? Or everything that matters? If your old body dies and your soul leaves with it, then what opens its eyes in the new body may have your memories without having your inner essence. It may think it is you, it may honestly believe it survived, but maybe the real you still died in the original body. If you copy a photo, the first photo does not travel into the second one. If you copy a file, the original file stays where it was. And if you copy a brain, maybe the original mind does not go anywhere either. Maybe a new mind simply begins. A mind with your memories. A mind with your voice. A mind that is completely convinced it is you. But the old stream of consciousness, the one hearing these words right now, ends. This is why philosophers talk about the teleporter problem. Imagine a machine scans your body, destroys it, and rebuilds you on Mars. The person on Mars has your memories, your scars, your childhood, your fear of dying. Everyone on Earth celebrates. The teleporter worked. But from your point of view, did you travel? Were you killed while a perfect duplicate woke up somewhere else? And if the soul exists, the problem becomes even darker. Did your consciousness travel across space? Or did your soul leave the destroyed body while a copy simply opened its eyes on Mars believing it was you? The machine cannot answer that, because the machine can only compare information. It cannot measure subjective experience, It cannot measure a soul. The problem gets worse if the machine makes two copies. One wakes up on Mars, one wakes up on the moon. Both remember being you. Both love the same people. Both insist they are the real one, but they cannot both be the same single person. The moment they wake up, they begin having different experiences. One looks at red dust. One looks at gray rock. They are no longer one self. They are two new lives branching from the same past. And if two copies can exist, then identity cannot be as simple as memory. Memory matters, personality matters, but maybe they are not enough. Maybe being you also requires continuity, not just the same information, but the same ongoing thread. This is why sleep does not scare us the same way. You go unconscious every night, but your brain does not get scanned, deleted, and recreated in another building. The same living system continues. The same body wakes up. The river keeps flowing, even if the surface goes dark for a while. Mind uploading might not be like sleep. It might be more like printing a new river and calling it the same water. And maybe that is why the idea feels wrong to so many people instinctively. Not because the copy would be fake, but because deep down, people feel that continuity matters, that there is some invisible thread connecting the person you were yesterday to the person reading these words right now. Break that thread, and maybe the self breaks with it. And this is where philosophy becomes terrifying, because philosophy asks a very simple question. What exactly are you? Are you your memories, your body, your personality, your consciousness, or something deeper? If every memory inside your brain could be copied perfectly, but your original awareness still disappeared, would that count as survival? For the copy, maybe yes. For the original, maybe not. And that possibility changes the entire dream of immortality, because maybe mind uploading does not save you. Maybe it only creates someone who thinks you were saved, someone who remembers your childhood, someone who loves your family, someone who believes they survived death. But believing something happened is not the same as it actually happening, and maybe that is the darkest part of all. The copy would not feel fake. It would feel completely real. It would wake up terrified, confused, relieved. It would hug your family. It would cry. It would thank the doctors for saving its life. And everyone watching would probably believe the experiment worked. Even the copy would believe it worked. But the original, you may never experience any of it. From your point of view, there may only be darkness after the machine turns on. And if that is true, then mind uploading may not be immortality at all. It may simply be the creation of a new person built from the remains of another one. A perfect echo. A living echo. An echo with your memories, your voice, your fears, and your dreams. But still an echo. There is one version of the technology that feels less terrifying. Not copying the whole brain at once, but slowly replacing it. What if, over many years, each biological neuron was slowly replaced with an artificial one? One tiny piece at a time. You stay awake. You keep thinking. You keep remembering. Nothing suddenly cuts to black. After decades, almost every part of your brain is synthetic. But there was no single moment where you died. This is the ship of Theseus problem inside your skull. If a ship has every plank replaced over time, is it still the same ship? If your brain has every part replaced slowly, are you still the same person? No one knows. But emotionally, gradual replacement feels different from instant copying, because the thread seems to continue. The light does not turn off in one room and turn on in another. It slowly changes its fuel. Maybe that preserves the self, maybe it does not. But it feels less like death than scanning a brain, destroying the body, and hoping a copy counts as survival. And maybe the fact that humans fear that difference says something important. Because even people who fully trust science still hesitate when the original body has to die. Something inside us resists the idea. Maybe it is instinct. Maybe it is consciousness protecting itself. Or maybe humans have always felt that they are more than information. That somewhere behind memory and biology, there is an inner self that cannot simply be printed into another body. Science cannot fully answer that question. Religion cannot fully prove it. Philosophy has argued about it for centuries. And maybe that uncertainty is exactly what makes this idea so haunting. Because one day, technology may become advanced enough to create a copy that is absolutely perfect. Perfect memories, perfect personality, perfect behavior. A copy so convincing that nobody on Earth could tell the difference. But even then, one question may still remain impossible to answer. When your eyes close for the last time, will you ever open them again? Or will someone else simply open theirs believing they are you?